Have you ever tasted something so unforgettable, that 20 years later, you can still remember exactly how it made you feel? I have. Close your eyes. Come with me. We're travelling back to Batticaloa. The year is 2003. Friends tell us, you have to try this place. We climb into the car. A few minutes later, we cross a small bridge. The lagoon stretches out beside us. The water is calm. The afternoon sun dances across its surface. Right there, beside the lagoon, a small street food stall. Nothing about it looked extraordinary. But sometimes, the most ordinary places leave the most extraordinary memories. I watched as fresh slices of tapioca disappeared into hot oil. The sound, that beautiful crackling sound, as they turned golden and crisp. Then came the sauce. It wasn't from a bottle. It was homemade. Tangy, spicy, a little sweet, fresh, the kind of flavour that makes you stop talking, just so you can taste it properly. I took one bite, then another, and another. I didn't know it then, but I had just created a memory that would stay with me for the rest of my life. More than 20 years have passed. I honestly can't remember the name of the street. I can't remember exactly where that little stall was, but somehow I still remember that first bite. Isn't it amazing how the heart remembers what the mind forgets? These days, I buy Sri Lankan tapioca chips from a grocery store here in Melbourne. Every time I open a packet, I'm transported straight back to that afternoon beside the Batticaloa lagoon. It's amazing how one simple flavour can collapse 20 years into a single moment. But here's something I didn't know back then. The humble tapioca wasn't born in Sri Lanka. It began its journey on the other side of the world, in South America. More than 500 years ago, Portuguese sailors carried cassava across the oceans. During what historians call the Columbian Exchange, they introduced it to Asia, including Sri Lanka. Like so many things in Sri Lankan history, our ancestors didn't simply adopt it, they transformed it. They boiled it, curried it, roasted it, and somewhere in Batticaloa, someone turned it into the crispiest chips I've ever tasted. There's another fascinating story hidden inside cassava. Raw cassava naturally contains compounds that can release cyanide. It's the plant's way of protecting itself. But our ancestors understood something science would later explain. By peeling, preparing, and cooking it properly, it became completely safe to eat. Generation after generation, that knowledge was passed down, not in textbooks, not in universities, but in kitchens, around family tables, from grandparents to parents, parents to children. Perhaps that's what food really is. It's not just something we eat, it's history we can taste. It's knowledge we inherit. It's love made visible, one recipe at a time, one memory at a time, one generation at a time, and somewhere, beside a lagoon in Batticaloa, touch of nostalgia, there might still be a little street stall, serving crispy tapioca chips with that unforgettable homemade sauce, dreamlike, completely unaware that someone on the other side of the world still dreams about them. So I need your help. If you're from Batticaloa, do you know the place I'm talking about? A little stall beside the lagoon, just after crossing a small bridge. Because the next time I return to Sri Lanka, that's one of the very first places I want to find nostalgic longing. Not because it's famous, but because sometimes the way home begins with a single bite. Nostalgic home.